Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to the W.B. Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. Mike Sullivan sitting down for the first time this season with head coach of the Hofstra Pride Field hockey team, Angelis. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Practices are well underway here. How's the team been looking getting set for that first game on Friday?
Well, I feel we've been in preseason for about a month, so that's probably a good note. It's shaping up very well. I feel right where we are right now is a good spot, and we're 3-4 days away from game day. And just trying to finish up some key situations, and still working a little bit on our development and what type of system we're going to use. But it's going to continue to change from match to match.
Last season, you win 13 games. You reached as high as number 20 in the RPI. How would you assess last season's play?
Oh, it was successful. It's something that we're never going to forget. For us, our goal this year is to spin off from last year and to use that as just a stepping stone for us to get to a higher level, and I know we can do that.
You lose a great senior class headlined, of course, by players like Jenna Kovar, Emily Levy, Amanda Heidi, amongst others. What did they bring to the program?
Oh, we lost so much leadership, and it is so difficult to replace, and we're never going to replace those players. We are trying to just fill the voids, and I think we're doing a real good job at doing that with this young team. And we had a great spring season, and that just what we did this spring was everything to prepare us immediately for the fall, and it's working. So it's going well so far.
Jenna Kovar in particular, one of the best players in program history. What was it like for you as a coach to be able to interact with a player like her?
Well, having the opportunity to coach a player of that magnitude and to be associated with her is, I'm very proud to have had the opportunity to coach her, and I'm proud that she chose Hofstra, and she left such an amazing mark on this program. It's never going to be forgotten, and what it does is it brings, for us, I think we need players striving to be Jenna Kovar, to be able to do what she did. Not necessarily to put in all the goals that she did, and she can be an example another way. So it set a bar for us, and another step that we really want to hit and try to get players developing at that level.
As we look towards this season, what does the 2012 roster have to do to replace what was lost?
Well, we had a very, like I said, going back to spring season, we had a great spring, and this team clicked. We had a lot of fundamental skill development. We spent a lot of time with our strength coach, Allison Bradshaw, who did just a fantastic job in preparing the players strength-wise, endurance and speed, and make great strides with that. And we know and believe that fitness is such a big part of the hockey game. So we did that, and we accomplished spring goals that were really, really great. Taking that to the fall, we've had a great group of young freshmen come in here who have made such a great slide, and I'm not shocked by them. You know, they had great high school careers. They played at some of the strongest clubs nationally and internationally, and they're bright students and extremely coachable, and that's what I think makes them really a special class.
Last week, the CAA released their preseason rankings. Hofstra selected 6th in the conference. How do you exceed expectations and finish higher than 6th?
Well, for us, I think we have, last year, the 2011 year, we were ranked 7th. And so for us, we can't focus on the rankings. Now we're ranked even higher with 20 points. And so that's a step up. And that's really, that's a credit to the 2011 season for us to advance even higher up in the rankings. I think for us, our goal is always to get better. If you focus on the rankings and you focus on the wins and losses, especially in a new team and a young team, it's not going to help your development. So we take one game at a time, and we look to get better each game.
And looking at the schedule for this season, the top 25 released today, 6 teams you'll be playing right now that are ranked in the top 25. Can you talk a little bit about the schedule you've put together and the challenges it faces?
Well, as you can see, 6 teams in the top 20. I think it's got great balance. There's a lot of parity for us. We have some games that we should win, we need to win, and we have games that if we play our best game, and in those games we might have to play our best game to get the win. In the non-conference schedule, it is a great balance of teams that are going to prepare us for the CAA. So I'm excited about that. I am excited also about those challenges of being able to play teams in the top 20. We ended up 20th in the RPI last year, and I think, again, all of that's been a great stepping stone for us to advance and really get better, and it's all a spin-off from last year.
One of the biggest stories with the conference, of course, is Realignment. Old Dominion, one of the best teams in the entire country, will not be eligible for the conference tournament. How does something like that motivate your team, knowing that one of the best teams in the entire country can't get that automatic bid to the NCAA?
Well, it does give parity to the CAA, and they are at Old Dominion for several decades and decades has been the team that is always leagues ahead of everybody else. We did beat them a couple of years ago, so we know we can do that. I think what it does is it really makes all the teams in the CAA feel they have a definite opportunity to advance to the NCAA. We've been real fortunate in the CAA that we generally have 2 teams out of this conference advance to the national champ or into the NCAAs. Well, at large bid and as well as a conference bid. So in that being said, I think it's extremely motivating to know that if we can make it into the semifinals, we've got such a great chance to be 1 or 2 games away to making the NCAAs. And certainly it's our goal, and it's a long-term goal, but it's definitely a goal that can be attained, and I think this year it can be attained.
The leading returning scorer for your team, Chrissy Elaine, she'll be moving back to defense this season. Can you explain what went into that decision and how that's going to benefit your team?
Well, that seems to be the topic of everybody right now. Chrissy is, number one, she's a fantastic hockey player, and she possesses amazing leadership, amazing technical and tactical knowledge. And also, her experience has been invaluable, not just with Hofstra, but she has played with the Trinidad and Tobago national team. She has faced some of the top teams in the nation, Argentina, mainly in the Pan American continent. But with her experience, she could play anywhere on the field. We have some new players on the team this year, and I think what was our reason for trying Chrissy and putting her this spring was to see how she can bring up those players around her, and specifically also having a new goaltender as well, Caitlin Deturro, although she's been here for a few years, and she's having a great preseason right now. This is going to be her first test, really becoming the starting goalkeeper. So having that opportunity to have Chrissy right in front of her, it really adds so much. And right now, I believe our strength is in our back line, and these guys are going to be the field generals, and they're going to really be the ones that carry us from game to game. So I think we need to start with our defense first and work our way into the midfield and up to the attack. And if we do that, the ball's going to go in the net.
Last season, a player like Amy Levy on your back line, 21 points. Is that something that we could see from Chrissy Elaine? She can still have that offensive production even though she's a defender?
Oh, without a doubt, for 2 reasons. One, she's instrumental on our corner attack unit. She's an insert. She can also stop, and we bring her up there as one of the top 7 players. Not only as a tipper, scoring, but she also can draw corners again. We also believe with her speed, her tactical and technical knowledge, she's going to be a threat on the defense, and getting a center back to attack is extremely dangerous. And I think that could really help us and start to generate a lot of attack from the backfield, which could make us much more dangerous than we have in the past with her speeds.
Looking at the Pride roster on defense, in addition to Chrissy Elaine, you have a couple returning starters in Kerry Cadu, Cody Nyland, and also another player, Melissa McCarthy. Can you just talk about that unit and the experience that they bring to this team?
Well, that's what it is. It's experience. Beginning with Kerry Cadu, she has been the starter in the left back for the past 3 years. So she has the most experience back there of anyone. She is a solid player day in and day out. She is one of the most powerful backs I've had the opportunity to be associated with. She is a competitor, and she is tough to play against. And it makes it actually really, in that back line, it brings out a lot in the rest of the players. With the other 2 players, Mel McCarthy, she has just been a fantastic addition. It's just so sad we only had her for 2 years. She transferred in last year. One of the best transfers, if not transfers, I have ever had the opportunity to have. She is the most versatile player on the team, most coachable player. Her work ethic is unreal. She has great speed, technical knowledge. She can attack in the right back position. She's got speed, and she can put the ball behind the net. So just even having her in the backfield is a huge threat. Cody Nyland is extremely steady. She is our most consistent passer, and she is the one that really eases this backfield. She rarely turns the ball over, and she does the simple, but the simple is what's going to execute, especially in the defending third. So I think all of them add different dimensions to that backfield, and most importantly, right now, they're working so well for each other, and they complement each other well. We've got speed, we've got steadiness, we've got there's so much that goes on the line, and they're working well, they're covering for each other, and that's what you want in backfield. You want a backfield that's mobile and can really work together, and it's happening right now, so it's great, really.
Moving up to the midfield unit, led by senior Michaela Gallagher, what does she have to do in her senior year to really emerge as one of the top scoring threats on this team?
Well, Mick she's got the best technical skill on the team, and great ball handling skills. It is very rare that someone can get that ball off her stick. Having that type of a player with that type of fundamental skills is going to be extremely valuable. Now she's got strength around her. She's got players who also have very, very good stick work and great ball movement in the midfield. And as far as the scoring threat, she has a dynamite shot. It's probably the best shot that can be successful in scoring it. She puts it on net and she does score. We need to try to feed her the ball as much as we can. But her job is a playmaker, and she likes to distribute the ball and set up other players. She's going to be instrumental in the corner unit, so she's going to be in the attacking third. She's going to be on the circle, and when she gets that opportunity to attack third, she can go faster than anybody. And when she gets that shot off, 9 times out of 10, if she gets that shot off, it is going in the cage. So we're just working with her right now on her consistency, and that's just going to be repetition every day. So, like I said, I mean, we have a high expectation for her, and she does too. So, it's going to be good.
And up at forward, Janelle Boileau returns after a very successful freshman season. What are your expectations for her?
Well, Janelle is probably the fastest player in the CA on the attack line, without a doubt. She's worked extremely hard on her fundamental skills in the off season. That's something that we really had to work with her, give her more in her toolbox so that she can beat some players one-on-one. But her progress from last year, and again, this is focusing on our spring season and summer training, has been unbelievable, and she continues to get better every single day. She's an amazing scoring threat. If she gets by you, you can't catch her. So that is just unstoppable. She's working on the attack third and being able to add some more to her skill set. And like I said, her spring and her summer training has really prepared her for this fall, and she's having a real good preseason right now. So we have a big expectation for her coming up this fall.
You brought up Caitlin Dituro earlier. What does she have to do to get off to a quick start in her first season as a starter here on campus?
The spring season was her opportunity. She was the only goalkeeper, as all the other keepers had graduated, so she got a lot of repetition. We worked very diligent with her, specifically in the spring, to work on her fundamental skills. And her improvement has been tremendous. Caitlin Dituro, our DT, is probably one of the most athletic goalkeepers that I have ever had an opportunity to coach, and that makes her extremely valuable. Her fundamental skills, her skill set is beginning to catch up to her speed. In her athleticism, she is extremely explosive laterally, which makes that's probably the most important thing, and I would say, as a goalkeeper, you want to see their lateral movement, and she is unbelievable. She's had a great preseason. She's come in with a lot of confidence, a lot of maturity, and she's really leading. She is our field general back there. She had a great match this weekend against the Big Apple Flickers, and it was her first real test with this defense in front of her, and really proud how she performed. We've still got to work with her, and she still knows what she needs to work on, but that's a day-to-day basis.
You bring up that scrimmage against the Flickers last Sunday. What did you see from your team on that day, winning 8-1, and what do you think they can take out of it?
Well, we scored 8 goals. So that's always positive, and the most fantastic thing I think about the 8 goals is we had 5 different goal scorers score 8 goals. This team is different than last year. It doesn't just go around Jenna and Chrissy last year who were 90% of our goals. We've got players in all different positions that can score, and that makes us extremely dangerous. And extremely dangerous for other teams to know they look at the stats and they say, who's scoring? So when you see the dimension that we have in the attack threat from so many different people, I think that's going to be a huge advantage for us this year.
A couple freshmen got a start in that game, and a few more came off the bench to provide some depth. Can you talk about the new faces on this roster and what they'll bring to the team?
Right. There were two that got into starting lineup, Charlotte Moore and Lauren Del Valle. We are still working with who we're going to start on Friday. And I think in preseason games, it's about how players play early. That gets them. They could be really, really fit, or they could be doing the right things and gets them in there. And then you've got other players who are maybe they're coming through an injury. They didn't have the best preseason, but they're working their way back. And then we're also, what it comes down to is chemistry. It comes to bonding. It comes to which team is clicking together. It's not always the best players. The players are working best together. And like I said, preseason, I think that formation comes together a lot because of fitness and technical skill. And once the rest of the team gets to where everyone else is, it becomes extremely competitive to get into that lineup. So right now we're still working with a lot of different players. There is nothing set in stone. We're getting close to getting a starting lineup for Friday, but it will change. It will change as people keep competing, and that's the great thing about this group is that nobody gives up. They continue to compete. If they didn't get in the lineup, they got minutes, and when they're out there, they gave everything we had. And when you have a team where you've got everybody competing, and that's what's been so great. This team competes, and they compete so healthy every single day. And I think that's just pushing everybody else. I think we're going to get stronger quicker. So.
You open up the season Friday against Fairfield, Sunday against Monmouth, a couple of home games in the non-conference. What have you seen from those two teams, and what challenges do you think they present?
Well, both of these teams have solid players, and both teams give us a great game every year. I think for us having the opportunity to play at home is a huge advantage for us. These guys have to travel to us, play on a new surface, new turf, get used to the conditions of the field, the water conditions. There's so much that goes into a home game, so for us it's a huge advantage. And not having to travel after a tough preseason, so I think we're going to try to use that.
Finally, Coach, one more question. We've looked at the schedule, gone over the roster. What are your expectations for the 2012 Hofstra Field hockey team?
Well, our expectations is to have a successful year is developing our players day in and day out. If we do that and we take care of the development of the players individually and as a team, we're going to get better. If you get better, you get a chance to get more wins. So that's our focus, and if we do that, we have the capability to have a very successful year. We have the capability to be one of those 6 teams in the CAA championships. I hope to be in the top 4 to alleviate a couple of early games, and we have a chance to compete and contend for the CAA championship. And if we don't have that lofty of a goal, then we're never going to get there. So it's my goal, it's my staff's and group and the team, so that's it really.
Hey, Coach Kathy DeAngelis, thank you for the time, and that will do it for this week's edition of the WV Mason Coaches Report. Make sure to tune in next week.